Dave, how difficult is that to take after such a good start?
Every defeat's difficult to take. It's probably more so today. I think we lost to experience and know-how. That's what we lost the game to today.
So from your point of view, when you've got such a young squad, how do you combat that when you go in at 3-1 down at half time?
I think the intent is always to try and support the guys to perform at the level. But when you look at the goals we conceded, they pose you questions which experience provides at times, you know, and they ask questions of you, which is why they're on a terrific run, and we're on a really, really difficult run. I cannot criticise. If you look at this, I think I said it last week. Statistics don't tell the balance. The only statistic that matters is the 3 points, right? But I've got to say, for I think 60-odd% possession, 15 shots. Well, that would tell you in the final third we lack a ruthless edge, and in key moments in our half, you know, they put a ball in behind us, force it out for a throw-in, and then the ball goes in the box. Penalty. Look, goals change games, don't they? I think it's a different game if it's 2-0 with a penalty. Like I said before, I'd never blame anyone for missing a penalty. It takes great courage to step up and do that, you know. But you've got to give Gillingham great credit, really. They scored at key moments just before half time with the penalty. So I think from that perspective, really, that's a mountain to climb, you know, yet again.
You talked there about ruthlessness, and you mentioned key moments. Was this a game that hinged on ultimately that penalty miss?
Well, I wouldn't say it hinged on a penalty miss, but it definitely has a bearing on the game, because, you know, if it's 2-0, they've got to come and play a bit more on the front foot. At 3-1 or 2-1, 3-1, they're forcing you to come and play. And I don't think we would, at that time, we're not playing the game differently. We're still trying to play the way that we had in the lead up to the first goal, to the goal for us. But look, ultimately, like I said, I guess we've lost out to knowledge, experience, some physicality in key areas of the pitch that they had, you know. So from that perspective, it's a hugely disappointing afternoon. I've probably got to thank the supporters as well, because they stuck with the team, and you know, when you've got young players, that's really important. That when they're stepping out, that they know that everybody's trying to give them every ounce of support to try and get the result. And I think finally for me there's definitely no lack of willingness and intent to play. What we have to have is, you know, if you've got 15 shots in the game, a return of 1 is not at the level that we would anticipate. It's certainly not the level we would work on. We just lacked a little bit of composure in those key moments, and ultimately those are the areas we've lost the game.
Despite 7 defeats in the last 8, you don't think there's a lack of belief from the players?
Well, I think you saw the game. Was there a lack of belief for you?
Well, there wasn't much in the second half in terms of a hint of a comeback, is what the point I'm trying to make.
So there's a difference between belief and a comeback, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said that.
I'll ask you again. Would you say there was a lack of belief?
Well, they never gave up, did they?
So there's definitely not a lack of belief, is what you're saying. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally see the point you're making.
Okay.
How do you then change the situation? Because clearly it's not where you or anyone wanted
no,
to
for
be.
Sure. I get that. It's hard to sit here and criticise individuals, because young players make errors, and we've got young players who are learning on the job, and that's clear, because ultimately at key moments in time, when you're under pressure in areas of the pitch which they pose you those questions, sometimes you get decisions wrong, and clearly today, similarly to last week, we've got those decisions in individual errors wrong. So from that, really, you've just got to keep working, keep trying to ensure that they're seeing areas that have to be better. You know, I think look at the data from the game to look at where. So we'll have our opinion and we'll watch the game back and we'll reflect on it. And then from that perspective, look, are we accurate in our reflections, and what does the evidence suggest from the game? And then from there, look at building ahead for the next game on Tuesday night.
There were some boos at full time. What would your message be to the supporters? Do you still have belief that you can turn this round?
I've already given that, haven't I? I've already said it's important with young players that supporters stay behind them. And so I think, look, they need a win. The supporters need a win. We're all football supporters. We all love the game. We all turn up on a Saturday with a real desire and intent to watch our team win. There's definitely no doubt for me that we are representing the city with everything that the football club is epitomising. What we're not doing is winning the game, and ultimately that's what we'll all be judged upon. Myself, the staff, and the players. Look, I picked the team. I set the game plan, and ultimately the buck stops with me. You know, so I suppose the message is stick with the players. There's definitely no criticism of them for me. We've been beaten by a good team, well organised team with experience, and that's cost us today, I think.
And finally, to follow up on what you just said there about the buck stopping with you, do you feel under any pressure given how it's going at the moment?
No. Listen, you always have pressure in every job. You guys will be the same when you'll be looking for a story. So there's an expectation to nick a story and make that a headline. The same for me is, my job is to try and win games. We know what the job is. We know what the outcome is. I have real intent in what we try and do and how we try and do it. And I don't have any fear for my job. It's precarious. It's a difficult situation. I love working with the players. They're an outstanding group. We're trying to help them. We've said continuously we don't feel as though they're a million miles away. But that last step is a very, very big one to turn a performance into a victory. So we'll keep going, and we'll keep trying to prepare the players as well as we can. We've got another tough week ahead of us. But I'm definitely not throwing a towel in.
You say that you're close to result. Do you think that this is a situation which could be turned by one result going in your favour?
Yeah, well, we believe so. I'm not sure if the neutrals at the game today, they're walking away with a message that we're a bottom 3, bottom 4 team. That's definitely not the level of performance. Ultimately, the only way to turn that around is 3 points. And so I think that's abundantly clear, really. That's what we need to do. We need to find a way. It's not about luck. It's about those opportunities and capitalising at key moments of the game. And you think about the first half chances. They weren't even half chances, really, were they? There's 2 or 3 that spring to mind straight away where you've just got to hit the target, which we didn't do. So. Is that psychological? Is that technical? That's for us to look at and continue to work with the players.
Hello today. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
You say you need a win. Does that influence team selection for Tuesday?
Yeah, possibly. Kai Whitmore felt he got a kick on his car first half, so we'll obviously make sure that we've got players who need to play. We need to look after 1 or 2. I think we've got 19 fit professionals at the minute. So making sure that we've got a team to win on Tuesday and a team to win on Saturday is absolutely essential. They're both important games. And making sure, I suppose, to say that you look at our high performance today, the lads that really, really stood out, it's essential that we keep those fit because, like I said, with 19 professionals, keeping everybody fit and on the grass is really, really important for us to make sure we're in that game Tuesday and Saturday to get 3 points in both those fixtures.
Arsenal obviously have got technical quality, the youngsters there. Yeah. Is there an opportunity to get that much needed win, do you feel?
Well, we won't know, really. We'll prepare to win. We never prepare to do anything other than win. So I think from our perspective that'll be exactly the same for Tuesday and the same for Saturday. We'll set up to win the game, pose them a problem, respect the threats that they pose, but also be in a position where we're making sure we've got everybody available for both Tuesday and Saturday. That's the reason we brought Kai off today, to try and make sure we don't threaten a reoccurrence of an injury. He felt he had a kick and we thought 60-65 minutes, so looking after the key individuals to make sure that we're in with a shout of winning both games is really, really important for us.
You talked about their know-how and experience. A lot of teams wouldn't have been able to withstand that the way you started the game in the first 20 minutes. It would have blown away a lot of teams, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think, you know, we have to. I don't. Optimism could kill me, you know, but that's how I am. And anybody at any level of the game that can deliver that for 20 minutes. We had opportunities to get a second and third of that period of time, and the game looks different, but we didn't. What we have to do is ensure that we lift the boys' spirits. They showcased, I think anybody would have found it difficult to compete against us in that period of time, but ultimately their experience and know-how to dig in at key moments, and then we don't clear certain areas, and obviously they convert from the edge of the box, and it's great technique, but you know, you're talking about a player who's played in the Championship, and so that's where you're at. You've got Seb Palmer holding on, coming off the bench, and Sam Vokes, and you know, so you've got to give them credit as well. They're at the top of the league for a reason. One of a number of teams who will be looking to win the league. As for us, back to the drawing board. Look at how we can prepare the players to win in the next week.